What's up, everyone? Justin here, back with a new video, a new list episode where I'm going to talk about and predict, in my opinion, these wrestlers, these names this year should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2024. This is my predictions for who should go in the Hall of Fame in 2024 before WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. The Hall of Fame will be Friday night after SmackDown. I believe in Philadelphia is SmackDown, I think. I'm pretty sure SmackDown's in Philly. Anyways, this is who I would like to see go in Philadelphia, the city of ECW. The home of ECW. I know that they've been gone and dead for, my God, 23 years. 23 years, just about. Or over 23 years by now. They went out of business, sadly. I still don't know how goddamn Paul Heyman. You mismanaged the money. You must have owed a ton of debt. That's why they died. But seriously, ECW selling out in December. Massacre on 34th Street pay-per-view sold out in New York. Hammerstein Ballroom. Guilty as charged. 2001, the last ECW pay-per-view, sold the fuck out again in Hammerstein Ballroom. All that money you probably made for those two shows and the merchandise. I don't know what they made, but they were selling out like basically all their pay-per-views in the year 2000 and Guilty as charged, 2001. This is not about why ECW died. And me being sad and upset about it still. I will admit I'm still hot. I still wish ECW was around. I really do. It would have evolved. If Paul Heyman is still booking, it would have definitely evolved. It went to just been extreme hardcore deathmatch wrestling. And ECW was not just hardcore deathmatch crap. It was not just that. It was a lot of other great wrestling, great storylines, innovative, groundbreaking promo styles. Just how they put together video packages. Just great wrestling, lucha libre. And just awesome, great action. In my opinion, ECW was, to me, a million times better than Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, and other companies that have gotten hardcore. But this is my predictions. This list video is my predictions for who should go in the Hall of Fame in 2024? Who I want to see in the Hall of Fame personally as an original ECW fan. And definitely you gotta have at least 1 to 2 ECW guys. At least in the real Hall of Fame. This is just me predicting who should go in. But I have to believe WrestleMania 40 in Philly, the home of ECW, Triple H, you better put in 1 to 2 ECW originals. The first guy that should go in is Paul Heyman. No doubt Paul Heyman should go in, not just as an all-time great manager, all-time great promo guy, and an all-time great booker. When he was running ECW, in my opinion, he was really great. Not good at managing money, but he was a great booker. So Paul Heyman definitely, I think, should go in. I don't know. But it's not up to him in real life. Maybe he doesn't want to go in yet until he's retired. I don't know, but I would put him in there for sure. Not just for being a great manager. The guy's a great manager and great talker in the AWA, NWA, WCW, ECW, WWE. He was great at a commentator also, and then managing Brock, and managing Punk, managing Roman. Just great runs. Paul Heyman is an all-time great. And he should go in the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia because the guy was running ECW when their home was in Philadelphia. Other guys that should go in. I don't think in real life they're going to put this many people in, but it's my show. It's my predictions. So I'm going to put in more than the real Hall of Fame will. The real Hall of Fame will probably put in 5 or 6 names, I think. And one of them probably will be a woman. Speaking of women, this just off the top of my head. I didn't have any women down on my list to go in, but definitely from ECW, Francine should go in. Great manager, great talker. She could get a ton of heat. She was also loved when she was a babyface manager. And she was very hated when she was with Shane Douglas and Just Incredible. You can't deny that Francine wasn't great. The Queen of Extreme for a reason. She earned that name. She got super power bombed by the Pitbulls through a table in 95. She got total elimination. The Eliminators finish, which was absolutely brutal and awesome. Their finish, it was like a leg sweep and a super kick to the head, or spin kick to the head and a leg sweep at the same time. She took total elimination. House Party 96, I believe. And she's taking a ton of bumps. She was never a wrestler. Her body frame was not built to be a wrestler anyways. But Francine paid her dues. The greatest manager in ECW history, Francine should go in the Hall of Fame. I don't care if she's only in wrestling from like 95 to 2001 with ECW. She worked other places, but she was basically full-time from 95 to until they closed in 2001. Still, I don't care if that's only 5 or 6 years. She put in her dues. She should be in the Hall of Fame. Definitely not an ECW guy, but definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. And I can't believe he's not. Jim Cornette is a manager, is a talker, is a promo guy, is a commentator. He was great. Absolutely great Hall of Fame manager. Really good booker. When he was running Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he did some good shit there. It was kind of really southern type wrestling in the Smoky Mountain area, wherever the hell that is, I forget. I'm not from the South or the Smoky Mountain area. I've never visited it. But still, he had great Hall of Fame talents. He booked them well. He did some really good shit, Jim Cornette, in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. His interviews, his promos were really good. His feud with, I believe, the commissioner, Bullet Bob Armstrong, was great. I have a couple Smoky Mountain Wrestling DVDs, so I know what Jim Cornette did there, and he was damn good. But I did not follow Smoky Mountain Wrestling much. I just got a couple DVDs of a lot of their matches and feuds. Or some of the feuds they did, big feuds. I know a lot more about ECW than Smoky Mountain. I'm definitely like a ECW expert. I know a ton of their history. But Jim Cornette, put him in the fucking Hall of Fame already. He deserves it, and that'd be awesome to see Jim Cornette, Paul Heyman go in the Hall of Fame in the same year at the same time. Because they feuded at one time in 88. Or beginning of 89. Or 89 they feuded, I believe. In NWA. Put in this guy. Great commissioner. WWF commissioner. Sadly, the first ever victim of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. He joined it first. All-time great worker. Great worker. Great all-time great wrestler. Just technical wrestler, British style. He could do it all. He could wrestle anybody and have a good match. Again, he's a really good commissioner in GM for NXT. What am I talking about? William Regal. Put William Regal in the fucking Hall of Fame. This year, in real life, I doubt he goes in, but I got him on my list. He should go in. William Regal. Again, all-time great wrestler. Hall of Fame talent. Great wrestler. And his son could be pretty damn great too, I think. This guy, he's got to go in, I think. You can't put it off till 2025, I don't think. Now, I don't know if they'll just put one person in the Hall of Fame, but this possibly could. This guy was so special. He just passed away in August of 2023. This talent was so special, so phenomenal, so great. His character work, A+. He was a good wrestler and worker too. But seriously, he could go in by himself. He was that special. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, I think, definitely will go in the Hall of Fame in 2024. I think. I hope. But seriously, he was so special, he could just be inducted by himself. And that's it. Again, he saved his career from Husky Harris to the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, to being in the Wyatt family, to being a single star, to changing his character and evolving again and reinventing himself to the Fiend. And then, I mean, he went from Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family to another epic character in the Fiend. Fiend was kind of weird to book because he's like supernatural, like The Undertaker. It was not easy to book him. I will say that. We never got the Fiend against the Demon, Finn Balor. I wish we would have. But he went from Bray Wyatt to the Fiend to Firefly Funhouse and his return in 2022, his epic return with the puppets of the Firefly Funhouse came to life at Extreme Rules 2022. And that was in, I believe, Philadelphia also. So Bray Wyatt for the Hall of Fame in 2024. Now, more ECW guys I have to put in because these guys are legends and they absolutely paid their dues to get in the WWE Hall of Fame also. All of these guys worked for WWE or WWF at one point, so they have a history in the company at least. Sid My goodness, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, former WWF champ, two-time WWF champ, defeated Shawn Michaels and then defeated Bret Hart. Or did he defeat Bret? I'm trying to think. I believe then he defeated Bret, I think, on a Raw before WrestleMania 13. I think after In Your House Final 4. I don't really remember, but I believe Sid defeated Shawn Michaels and then Bret Hart to become WWF champion. Those are two Hall of Fame talents he defeated to become world champion. Some might forget that. Sid is a two-time former WWF world champion. He's actually a two-time champ, not just once. And my God, I don't care if Sid couldn't work or wrestle. I don't care. If he couldn't wrestle his way out of a plastic bag, I don't care, because look at him. Look at how he looked. When I first saw him in '89, holy shit, he was a monster. He scared me as a kid. His look was intimidating as hell. Scary look. Just a monster of a man. He was built. Sid, I don't care if he... Also, I don't give a crap if he did steroids. Who cares? Everybody did steroids in the 80s just about. As long as you don't abuse them as a wrestler, I'm not going to put you down for taking roids. Don't give a crap. It's not my body that's taking in the roids. But, yeah, Sid. Epic, legendary Hall of Fame career. WCW World Champion. WWF World Champion. Worked for all three major companies a lot. He went back and forth a lot. I guess because he has a love for softball, playing softball. I guess he's in softball leagues and he couldn't give it up. I don't know, but I think he has a passion for softball, which is a weird sport in my opinion to have a passion for. I get wanting to play basketball or baseball, but softball is kind of weird. But good for him. I'm sure he hit a lot of home runs because he was so goddamn jacked in softball. But he came back and left a couple of times from WCW to the WWF and then back and forth. And then he showed up in ECW, which was fucking awesome. I was happy when he was in ECW. Because he's a monster, just destroying guys, chokeslamming people through tables and powerbombing them through tables. He didn't work that much in ECW. He was there from January 99 till, I'd say, May. Then he was gone. Yeah, he probably used ECW just so WCW could see how he looked and rehire him. But so what? I'm sure he sold probably a lot more tickets for ECW, the shows he was on. Again, he was only a part of 3 of their pay-per-views, and he didn't really work a regular match on any of them. They were just like brawls. But Sid for the Hall of Fame, for God's sakes, put him in it. He deserves it. He deserves it. And he's never returned hardly since he broke his leg. Sadly, that vicious, nasty injury, how he broke his leg at WCW Sin pay-per-view in 2001. I know he's appeared probably at some indies, but he barely has never returned to NWA or TNA or anywhere, hardly. He appeared at a Raw 1000, I think, or build up to Raw 1000, he appeared. That was cool as hell to see him back on a Monday Night Raw. But that was like 10 years ago, I think. Anyway, Sid for the Hall of Fame. growing up, I loved the guy. I loved watching him just destroy people. Other ECW guys. Sid was not an ECW guy, but he worked there for a short time. His most of his career was Memphis, NWA, WCW, WWF. Back to ECW guys. Sabu. Homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. Sabu. See that guy's figure right there. Let's see if I can grab it here. This is his ECW figure. Homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. Anyways, Sabu also had a WWE figure released that I do have. But Sabu, innovator, legend, hardcore legend. One of the first guys that started breaking tables, putting wrestlers through tables, laying them on the tables, putting them through it. Now, there's an argument who started it first. I don't know. Either the Public Enemy or Sabu started putting guys through tables first. And then a lot of the times, Sabu was putting himself through tables, which I don't know why the fuck he did that. Just for his character, to look like he was a crazy man. He worked a lot for FMW and ECW mostly. In 95, he actually appeared in WCW, which was weird. I hope he got a big payday, but yeah, he was actually on Halloween Havoc on 95 in a Nitro episode or two. And he's appeared on WWF, WWE. He was on WWF Raw from 97, the Manhattan Center, when the ECW invasion happened. Sabu paid his dues like crazy. The guy's body's really beat up, really broken down. I'm sure he's in a lot of pain every day. Sabu, I always loved watching the guy. Always. When he was wrestling in his prime. Sabu for the Hall of Fame in 2024. Other ECW guys, the Sandman. Definitely the Sandman. There's his guy's figure right up there. With AJ Styles, AJ next to him. Sandman for the Hall of Fame. The guy couldn't wrestle a lick. He was not a wrestler at all. When he did try to do wrestling moves, they looked sloppy. The best wrestling move was probably a Russian leg sweep. That's it. The other stuff he did was just punch and kick and bash people over the head with his Singapore cane. One of the first wrestlers to use a Singapore cane as a Sandman character started coming to the ring with his cane and a cigarette in his mouth and drinking beer. I'll tell you one thing, he couldn't wrestle. He didn't have to. His character, the Sandman, was so fucking over. He didn't need to do anything except walk to the ring, do his Metallica, enter Sandman entrance. That's all he had to fucking do, and he was super, super over. And he was also a former 3-time ECW World Champion and a TV Champion and a Tag Team Champion. So, some might not like it. I don't care. This is my predictions for the Hall of Fame. Some might think Sandman does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he does. So Sandman for the Hall of Fame. And you could have hated ECW and thought, well, Sandman's only over because the fans just liked his entrance with Metallica's Enter Sandman. Maybe that's true. That everybody that was an ECW fan was a mark for Sandman. But the guy did get hired by WCW and paid a ton of money to go there in 99. I don't even know why ECW wanted, not ECW, I don't even know why WCW wanted him at the time, because he couldn't wrestle. They just wanted him for their hardcore division, I guess. Then in that stupid junkyard battle royal fight in a fucking junkyard, I believe he broke his leg or arm in it. What a stupid gimmick match. Have a fight in a junkyard around heavy metal and car parts where you could probably get injured easily. That's one of the dumbest gimmick matches ever that any promotion's ever done. A junkyard fight or junkyard battle royal hardcore match in a fucking real junkyard. How stupid. Oh my God, WCW. Who booked that? That was horrible. Chambers of Horrors from 91. That match was better than the junkyard fight at Bash at the Beach on 99. But Sandman for the Hall of Fame. I think he'd get a big pop because it'd be in Philly. And by the way, if Sandman does ever get inducted, buy the rights to enter Sandman for one night. TKO Endeavor, buy the rights, let Enter Sandman play when Sandman would come out. That'd get a huge pop, I think. Other guys from ECW that definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. The Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow. Made his mark, definitely in ECW. Wasn't there that long, but made his mark. Former world champ, former ECW TV champ. Bam Bam Bigelow has definitely had a Hall of Fame career. From when he debuted in the early 80s, look at how he fucking looked. He looked so different. He was different looking. He was unique. Got his fucking skull tattooed with flames. That's insane. But it fucking helped his career, I'll tell you that. He was a big star in Japan. IWGP Tag Champ with Vader. WrestleMania 11 main eventer. Seriously, how can you main event WrestleMania and not be in the Hall of Fame? That's fucked up. I mean, fucking Honky Tonk Man, yeah, I get it. He was one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champs. Not anymore, thank God. Thank God for Gunther, that he's so awesome that they kept the belt on him because he's so damn good. And Coco Beware. Guys like Coco Beware, nothing against them. But him and Honky Tonk Man in the Hall of Fame before Bam Bam Bigelow. What the fuck? Again, Bam Bam, WrestleMania main eventer. Former ECW world champ. Held titles in Japan. Held titles in WCW. Sadly, he was never a champ in WWF. But he had great matches with Brett in 93. So I love Bam Bam Bigelow. And my God, I hope he goes in the Hall of Fame in 2024. Bam Bam Bigelow for the Hall of Fame in Philly in 2024 coming up. Two more names, or three more ECW guys that should be in the Hall of Fame because it's in Philly. And these are my Hall of Fame 2024 predictions. The franchise. So I got salt on my lips. The franchise, Shane Douglas. The guy's a legend. ECW legend. Wrestling legend. Worked for... paid his dues, no doubt. Started training with Mick Foley. Got trained by Dominic DeNucci. I'm not sure the year he debuted. I think 84. But was training in 83. Worked everywhere. Shane Douglas worked for NWA, UWF, Mid-South, I believe Yeah, he was in UWF with Bill Watts' UWF. Anyways, God damn it, stupid hat fell off this shelf. Anyways, yeah, Shane Douglas paid his dues, worked everywhere. Great worker in his prime, great wrestler, great worker, great talker, great promo guy. At one time in 96, 97, 98, he had a ton of heat and probably was the most hated wrestler in wrestling, was Shane Douglas. Super hot angle, grabbed Pitbull Gary Wolf by his halo because he broke his neck in a match with Shane Douglas grabbed him, tried to DDT him. And Gary Wolf got his neck broken by Shane Douglas. But Shane Douglas has said, many interviews, many shoot interviews, he has said, I didn't mean to break the guy's neck. He didn't turn his head the right way and stuff like that. I don't know if Gary Wolf still blames Shane Douglas, but he should forgive him. It's been like 30 years almost. But Shane Douglas, great tag team wrestler with Ricky Steamboat in WCW. Great, had his best run of his career in ECW. World champion, the top guy in ECW, the number one heel, TV champion, world champion. Started the triple threat with Francine, Bam Bam, Chris Candido. What a faction that was. But at one time, I'd say 96, 97, 98, Shane Douglas was super hated in ECW. Really the most hated wrestler. And would put over guys and help other wrestlers that were coming to the top of the card to be main eventers. Put over Taz when Taz defeated him for the TV title at WrestlePalooza 97. Put over Taz again. At Guilty as Charged on 99, I believe. So, Shane Douglas might probably had an ego. Every top wrestler did. But the guy helped wrestling and put over other guys that were getting to main event levels. And then, after ECW 99, he left in May. Went back to WCW, probably got a really good payday. And they didn't do much with him. Yeah, he tried to start the Revolution. That was pretty cool, I thought, but that ended. Then I believe he's a former WCW US champion, I think. Shane Douglas won the US title in 2001. I think, anyways. Shane Douglas, yeah, you could put down his promos and say he swore and cursed too much, but so what? A lot of people probably ripped him off a lot, his promo style. Triple H, when he started being the game, has been accused of acting like Shane Douglas, a franchise character. You could say that. You could have that argument, I guess. But anyways, Shane Douglas for the Hall of Fame in 2024. Now, I don't know if any of these guys are in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, but they should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Two more from ECW. Spike Dudley. Little Spike Dudley. I absolutely always say it. I will always put over Spike Dudley. I will always say it. The guy, to me, one of the toughest fucking little bastards ever to wrestle. One of the toughest wrestlers ever. The amount of punishment he took, and bumps, and bruises, and probably concussions, being busted open, just being beaten within an inch of his life by bigger guys like the Dudleys and Bubba Ray and Mike Awesome. And Bam Bam Bigelow absolutely destroyed him. would pick him up, toss him through tables, throw him in the crowds, where he was then body surfed. That was insane to see that. When I saw Bam Bam throw Spike in the crowd, I couldn't believe it. I didn't see it live, but I saw it after it happened, like 1 to 2 years later, that clip. I couldn't believe it. Insane. And he did it like 2 or 3 times. He threw Spike in the damn crowd. At least the crowd caught him, and they didn't let him fall to the floor like some guys would. So, little Spike Dudley, Hall of Famer in my opinion. Definitely a Hall of Famer because of how tough he fucking was. Look up Spike Dudley on YouTube, like Spike Dudley's highlights. The guy took insane bumps, insane risks, jumping off balconies, jumping out of balconies, getting thrown in the crowd from the ring, getting destroyed by Mike Awesome at Guilty as Charged. 2000, Spike fucking Dudley for the Hall of Fame. He is up there, one of the toughest wrestlers I've ever seen. He's up there with Mick Foley. Now you could put Spike down and say, why did he take all those stupid bumps? And because he's in ECW. And he was small. He had to stand out. He was only 5'5", 155 pounds. He had to stand out. He had to be different. He had to take a ton of bumps to stand out and get pushed. And then he went to WWF. Had a good run. Tag team champion, cruiserweight champion. I like Spike in WWF. I really like it when they put him with Molly Holly as his girlfriend. That was good shit, I thought. That was entertaining. So, little Spike Dudley, I really hope he gets in the Hall of Fame someday. It should be this year in Philly. Final wrestler from ECW. The Hall of Fame's in Philly. WrestleMania 40, we all know, is in Philly. The one guy, the heart and soul of ECW, the one guy that never left. He could have left. He had contract offers from WCW. I don't know about WWF, but he could have left. He never bailed out, never quit on ECW, even when Paul Heyman quit on ECW, and he just quit, gave up. Tommy Dreamer did not. I believe he's at the final ECW show. Paul Heyman was not. I think Paul Heyman was missing for a couple months before ECW ended, and Tommy Dreamer was probably running the shows. That's what I'm talking about. Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence, so deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He didn't hold that many titles. He didn't have to. He never had to be a champion. He never wanted to be a ECW champion. Paul Heyman forced him to win the world title. He was a tag champ with Raven. A tag champ in 93 ECW, I believe, with Johnny Hotbody. Whoever the hell that guy was. I don't know. I haven't heard from him since 93. What happened to him? But Tommy Dreamer, epic feuds in wrestling in the 90s. Had a good feud with Tommy Cairo, where they were having like Singapore cane matches. Great epic feud with the Sandman in towards the end of 94, in the fall. Just all-time great feud with Raven. Tommy Dreamer and Raven had an all-time great legendary feud where Raven defeated Tommy for 3 straight years until finally Tommy defeated Raven. But when Raven had to leave ECW because he jumped ship to WCW. Tommy Dreamer, just incredible. All-time great feud in 98 and 2000. He took sick bumps. Sick, insane table bumps where he kept getting choke slammed through tables over and over and over. Got choke slammed through one table by primetime Brian Lee. If you didn't know, Brian Lee played the fake Undertaker at SummerSlam 94. Also, Brian Lee went to WWF and was in the DOA. And then he was actually a part of NWA TNA in the New Church. But Brian Lee kept choke slamming Tommy Dreamer first through one table off a stage. And then through 2-3 tables off balconies in the ECW arena. Then choke slammed him off a steel cage through like 3 tables of the concrete. Choke slammed Tommy Dreamer outside through a trash can, a big garbage, not a garbage can, but one of those big dumpsters. He got choke slammed through a dumpster. Tommy Dreamer broke his back for ECW. Literally broke his back and neck. And kept wrestling. And, good God, just absolutely put his body on the line for the fans in ECW. Tommy Dreamer for the Hall of Fame in 2024. He's a part of Busted Open Radio. He's the innovator of violence. I so hope Tommy Dreamer gets in the Hall of Fame in 2024 because he deserves it. He fucking deserves it. I'm not going to listen to critics that say, oh, he shouldn't be wrestling anymore. He's 50 years old. He's out of shape. He can barely move. That's his decision when he wants to hang up the boots. I'm not a fucking wrestler. So I'm not going to tell any other wrestler when they should retire. Except Chris Jericho, you should. Chris Jericho, you don't got it anymore. You're embarrassing yourself. But, yeah, if I was a wrestler, if I was 50, 60, 70, I would fucking also have a hard time retiring and not wanting to give it up. I'm sure. It's a fucking addiction. It's a drug. It's in your blood. It's in your veins. Pro wrestling. Why would you want to stop? Unless you can't move anymore and are in a wheelchair. Tommy Dreamer, one of the toughest wrestlers also. He's up there with Spike Dudley. He absolutely gave his blood, sweat, and tears to ECW. He was absolutely loyal to ECW. I'm glad he got to go to WWF and hopefully made a lot of money when he was in WWF and E. Former hardcore champ, probably a lot of times hardcore champion, former WWE ECW world champion. And now he's an Impact Wrestling TNA digital media champion. Good for him. I love Tommy Dreamer. A couple years ago, probably 2-3 years ago, he actually DM'd me on Twitter because I was putting him over, and he actually responded, DM'd me a few times. Tommy Dreamer, super great guy to the fans, and one of the all-time greats, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. Out of my list of guys that should go in the Hall of Fame in 24, if I had to pick only 3, I'd pick Bray Wyatt, Tommy Dreamer, Paul Heyman. But I gave you the other names that should be in. So that's my prediction and who I want in the Hall of Fame in 2024 in Philadelphia, the home of EC fucking W. Hope you enjoyed this episode of The List. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great weekend.